Open Book Chapter 1. Reconnect with what sets your soul on fire. You didn't lose your passion. You just stopped listening to it. There's a quiet fire inside you. Maybe you haven't felt it in a while. Maybe the weight of life, deadlines, responsibilities, and the noise of the world have dimmed its glow. But it's still there, burning softly beneath the layers of shoulds and musts and somedays. Rebuilding yourself begins here, by reconnecting with that fire, by rediscovering the parts of you that light up when no one is watching. Why passion matters. Passion isn't just a buzzword. It's not fluff. It's fuel. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning and gives you energy when logic says you should be drained. Passion pulls you forward when willpower is low. It's joy. It's alignment. It's the thread that connects your life to meaning. But most importantly, it's yours. Not your parents', not your partner's, not society's. Yours. And that makes it powerful. The disconnect. How we lose touch. Somewhere along the road to adulthood, passion becomes a luxury instead of a priority. We trade curiosity for productivity. We replace creativity with compliance. We silence our inner voice in favor of fitting in. How many times have you heard or told yourself things like, "That's not realistic. There's no money in that. I'm too old to start over. What will people think?" These beliefs become bricks, and before you know it, you've built a wall between you and your passions. But here's the truth. You don't need permission to rediscover joy. You don't need a guarantee to pursue what makes you come alive. Your inner spark is waiting. You may not know exactly what you're passionate about right now. That's okay. This chapter isn't about finding the perfect passion. It's about reconnecting to your sense of curiosity, wonder, and joy. Let's start peeling back the layers. Magnifying glass tilted left exercise 1. Go back before you went forward. Close your eyes. Breathe deep. Now, take yourself back. Not just years, but into you. Who were you before responsibilities piled on? Before comparison entered your world? Ask yourself, what did I love doing as a child or teen, just for the fun of it? What was I naturally drawn to, even if no one else understood it? When did I feel most myself? Maybe you used to write stories. Maybe you danced in your room. Maybe you got lost in science experiments or doodled in the margins of your homework. Whatever it was, it mattered. It meant something. That version of you had clues. Pick them back up. Brain exercise 2. Follow the energy. Now come back to today. What excites you now? What conversations make you lose track of time? What YouTube or TikTok rabbit holes do you get lost in? What could you talk about for hours with zero preparation? What boring tasks do you secretly enjoy? Follow your energy, even if it seems silly. Even if it doesn't make sense right now. Passion rarely arrives fully formed. It starts with curiosity and grows through exploration. Construction blockers to passion. Let's address the common enemies of passion so you can learn to recognize and remove them. 1. Perfectionism. Waiting to feel ready before you pursue what excites you? You'll wait forever. Passion doesn't need polish, it needs practice. 2. Fear of judgment. You don't need applause to pursue what you love. Approval isn't a prerequisite for joy. Do it badly, awkwardly, imperfectly. Just do it. 3. Time scarcity. You do have time. The real issue is prioritization. Start with 10 minutes a day. That's enough to begin rekindling the flame. 4. Comparison. Your passion doesn't need to be Instagram-worthy. You're not behind. This isn't a race. Your path is yours alone. Fire passion is not equal to profession. Always. Let's bust a myth. Your passion doesn't need to become your job. Sometimes, turning passion into profit is beautiful. Other times, it kills the joy. If you love painting but don't want to sell your work, don't. If you adore gardening but don't want to teach others, fine. Do it because it feeds your soul. Not because it has to feed your bank account. The point is presence, not performance. World map passion as a compass. Once you reconnect with your passions, something powerful happens. You start to realign your life around what matters. You begin to make different decisions, set clearer goals, attract more fulfilling relationships, feel more authentic in your day-to-day life. Because when you're in touch with your passion, you walk differently. You live differently. Writing hand journal prompts to go deeper. Set aside 15 to 20 minutes to reflect on these. What makes me feel alive? When was the last time I did something purely for joy? What do I miss doing? If I had all the time and money in the world, how would I spend my days? What have I always wanted to try, but talked myself out of? Let your answers flow without judgment. You're not writing for grammar, you're writing for clarity. Direct hit action steps this week. Schedule 30 minutes for something you used to love doing. Try one new experience that piques your curiosity, even if you're unsure about it. Say no to something that drains you and use that time to explore something energizing instead. Create a passion playlist, a collection of songs that make you feel unstoppable. Use it as your mood reset button. Speech balloon affirmations for reigniting passion. Repeat these aloud or write them down daily. My joy matters, and I give myself permission to follow it. I don't need to be perfect to begin again. My passion is a gift. It's safe to explore it. I am worthy of a life that excites me. My spark is still inside me, and I'm ready to let it shine. Open Book Chapter 2. Know thyself deeply. Self-awareness is the foundation. Everything else is just decoration. You can't rebuild what you don't understand. Before you can create the life you want, before the goals, the habits, the relationships, you must first face the most important person in the equation. You. This chapter is an invitation to meet yourself, maybe for the first time in a long time. It's about turning the spotlight inward and asking the questions that too often get buried beneath noise, distraction, and routine. It's about reclaiming clarity. What is self-awareness, really? Self-awareness isn't just knowing your favorite color or Myers-Briggs type. It's the ongoing, honest, unfiltered understanding of your thoughts, emotions, motivations, patterns, and behaviors. It's asking, why did I react like that? What do I really want in this moment? Where is this belief coming from? Is this choice aligned with who I am? Self-awareness is both a mirror and a map. The mirror shows you who you are. The map shows you where you're going. Without it, you're just guessing, reacting, surviving. But with it, you begin living with intention. The two layers of self-awareness. Let's simplify this idea by breaking it down into two core layers. 1. Internal self-awareness. This is how well you understand yourself. Your thoughts, emotions, values, desires, fears, triggers, and dreams. Questions to ask. What drives me? What drains me? What are my core values? What emotional patterns do I fall into? 2. External self-awareness. This is your understanding of how others experience you, your tone, your energy, your habits, your impact. Questions to ask. How do I show up in relationships? What do people often misunderstand about me? How do I respond to feedback? What's the energy I bring into a room? Both layers matter. One builds inner truth. The other sharpens how you connect with the world. Why self-awareness matters? Because when you know yourself, you stop chasing the wrong goals. You stop trying to fit where you don't belong. You start responding instead of reacting. You start living instead of performing. Think of all the decisions you've made based on what you thought you should do. How many of them felt hollow afterward? When you're disconnected from yourself, even success feels empty. When you're aligned with yourself, even small steps feel rich with meaning. Signs you've been out of touch with yourself. Let's call it out. You may be lacking self-awareness if you frequently feel lost, unmotivated, or emotionally numb. You say yes when you want to say no, then feel resentment. You constantly seek advice but never trust your own gut. You keep repeating the same patterns in relationships or jobs. You struggle to identify what you're feeling in the moment. If any of this feels familiar, you're not broken. You're just disconnected, and that can be repaired. Brain exercise 1. The mirror session. Find a quiet space. Sit down with a pen, a notebook, and no distractions. Then ask yourself, gently and honestly, what am I pretending not to know? Where in my life am I out of alignment with my values? What do I do when I'm hurt, angry, ashamed? What do I really want right now? What do I fear people might see if they got to know the real me? Let the answers come without judgment. This isn't about fixing, it's about understanding. Clarity is the first act of love. Woman in lotus position emotional literacy. Learning to feel again. Here's a truth we don't say enough. Many people have been taught to suppress or deny their emotions. Maybe you were told, stop crying. Don't be so sensitive. Man up. You're being dramatic. And so we disconnect. We feel shame around emotions instead of learning to read them. But emotions are data. Every feeling you experience is a signal, not a sentence. Anger may be a sign that a boundary has been crossed. Sadness may signal grief or unmet needs. Anxiety may indicate misalignment or unresolved fear. Joy means something important is resonating. Rebuilding yourself means learning to listen again. Not with judgment, but with curiosity. Memo exercise 2. The name it to tame it practice. Start labeling your emotions as they arise. A simple but powerful practice. Use this structure. Right now, I feel because Examples. Right now, I feel frustrated because I feel unheard. Right now, I feel peaceful because I took time to slow down. Right now, I feel anxious because I'm afraid of failing. By naming your emotions, you create distance. You shift from being consumed by them to observing them. That's where power lives. Compass getting to know your triggers. Triggers are emotional landmines. They're situations, people, or words that cause a disproportionate emotional reaction, usually tied to past wounds. Unaddressed, triggers control you. But identified and understood, they can lead you to deep healing. Ask yourself, what moments make me feel defensive or reactive? Are there patterns in the people or situations that upset me? What memory or belief might this be tied to? Understanding your triggers is not about blaming others. It's about reclaiming your power. Counterclockwise arrows button the self-awareness loop. Here's the key. Self-awareness is a cycle, not a destination. You reflect. You identify patterns. You adjust. You act differently. You reflect again. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present with yourself over and over. Man in lotus position mindfulness. The tool that changes everything. Mindfulness is the daily practice of paying attention, on purpose, without judgment. It anchors you in the now and creates space between your thoughts and your reactions. Start with 5 minutes. Sit still. Breathe slowly. Notice your thoughts without chasing them. Gently return your focus to the breath. Even 5 minutes a day builds mental clarity. Over time, this presence will show up in your choices, your relationships, your self-talk. It's subtle, but transformative. Brick barriers to self-awareness. Let's be real, becoming more self-aware is not always comfortable. Some things you'll uncover might sting. But here's how to face that without retreating. Ego. You may not want to admit your own patterns or flaws. That's okay. The goal isn't to shame yourself, it's to free yourself. Shame. You might feel regret over past choices. Remember, awareness isn't punishment. It's liberation. Fear of change. Once you see clearly, you might feel pressure to act. Take your time. Clarity first. Action second. Speech balloon affirmations for deep self-awareness. Repeat these to anchor yourself in truth. I am safe to know myself deeply. The more I understand myself, the more power I hold. I honor every part of me, light and shadow. I release judgment and choose awareness. Self-awareness is my superpower. Direct hit action steps for the week. Daily self-check-in. Ask yourself each morning and evening, how do I feel right now? Why? The truth audit. Write down one area of your life, job, relationship, health, and answer, what's working? What's not? What am I avoiding? Feedback session. Ask a trusted friend, what's one thing I do that I might not notice? Listen without defending. Use it to grow, not to shrink. Mirror work. Look into your eyes in the mirror for 2 minutes. Say, I see you. I'm learning to love all of you. Open Book Chapter 3. Put your health first, without guilt. Your body is your anchor. Take care of it, and it will carry you farther than you ever imagined. There's a simple truth we often forget. You can't become your best self if you're constantly running on empty. Your mind can have brilliant dreams. Your heart can hold big visions. But without a healthy body and clear energy, those dreams stall out. That vision blurs. Your body is not just your shell. It's your support system, your vehicle, your partner in every single thing you do. And yet, how often do we put our own well-being last? We push through the exhaustion. We skip meals. We trade sleep for productivity. We say, I'll rest later, and later never comes. It's time to change that. This chapter is about coming back to your foundation, your physical and emotional wellness. Not as an afterthought, not as a reward for hustle, but as a daily priority. And most importantly, without guilt. Why prioritizing your health is non-negotiable? Because you matter. Because the work you're here to do matters. Because your well-being sets the tone for everything else. When your health suffers, your energy drops, your creativity dries up, your patience thins, your focus fades, your joy becomes a distant memory. But when your body and mind are in sync, when you feel nourished, rested, and energized, everything improves. Your relationships, your productivity, your confidence, your life. The guilt trap. Why we avoid self-care. Let's talk about the guilt. Because for many of us, that's the real obstacle. Not time, not money, not motivation. We've been taught to believe that taking care of ourselves is selfish, indulgent, lazy, unproductive. We praise burnout. We glorify self-sacrifice. We normalize ignoring our own needs. And yet, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't serve anyone if you're constantly drained. You deserve care. Not because you earned it, but because you exist. Self-care isn't selfish. It's sacred. What does it really mean to prioritize your health? It's not about six-pack abs or green juice cleanses. It's not about chasing unrealistic standards or shaming yourself into a routine. It's about nourishing yourself, body, mind, and soul. True health includes sleep that actually rests you, movement that energizes, not punishes, food that fuels and satisfies, mental space that feels calm, not chaotic, boundaries that protect your peace. Health is alignment, not aesthetics. Compass Step 1. Listen to your body like it's your best friend. Your body talks. Are you listening? It tells you when you need rest, fatigue, brain fog. You need hydration, headaches, low energy. You need movement, stiffness, tension. You need stillness, irritability, overwhelm. You need care, pain, sickness, anxiety. The more you ignore it, the louder it gets, until it screams in the form of burnout, illness, or emotional breakdowns. Practice tuning in. Check in 3 times a day. How does my body feel right now? Keep a journal of physical and emotional patterns. Ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? This is how self-care becomes intuitive, responsive, real. Red Apple Step 2. Nourish instead of restrict. Let's shift the narrative around food. Instead of thinking, I have to cut out everything I love. I'm being bad for eating this. I should feel guilty for indulging. Ask yourself, What would nourish me today? What does my body need to feel good and function well? How can I add more color, variety, and balance to my meals? Food is not just fuel, it's connection, culture, and care. Start small. Add one more vegetable or fruit to your meals. Drink more water, add fruit or herbs for fun. Pay attention to how certain foods affect your energy, mood, digestion. Eat with presence, not punishment. Sleeping phase step 3. Guard your sleep like a sacred ritual. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a biological necessity. When you sleep well, your brain processes emotions and stores memories. Your body repairs and restores itself. Your immune system strengthens. Your mood stabilizes. Your creativity spikes. Lack of sleep over time leads to brain fog, weight gain, irritability, poor concentration, and a weakened immune system. Some ways to improve your sleep hygiene. Set a consistent sleep-wake schedule, even on weekends. Create a calming bedtime ritual, journaling, meditation, soft music. Avoid screens at least 30 minutes before sleep. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and clutter-free. Make bedtime a transition, not a crash. Person in lotus position step 4. Move your body with love. Exercise shouldn't feel like punishment. It should feel like celebration, a way of honoring your body and enhancing your energy. Movement doesn't have to be a 2-hour gym session. It can be a 20-minute walk while listening to music or nature, a dance session in your living room, yoga or stretching to release tension, lifting weights to feel strong and empowered, swimming, hiking, playing, anything that makes you feel alive. Ask, what kind of movement feels good to me today? The goal is not intensity, it's consistency. You're not working against your body. You're working with it. Counterclockwise arrows button step 5. Create systems, not just goals. Goals are great, but systems are sustainable. Instead of saying, I'll eat healthier, I'll start working out, I'll sleep more. Try this. Habit stack. Add a new habit onto an existing one, e.g., stretch while brushing your teeth. Make it visible. Put your journal, water bottle, or gym clothes where you'll see them. Set reminders. Use phone alerts for hydration, breaks, sleep cues. Track the process, not just outcomes. Journal how you feel, not just what you did. Make wellness inevitable, not optional. Brain step 6. Don't forget your mental health. Mental health is health. Are you chronically anxious or emotionally overwhelmed? Do you live in a cycle of burnout, overthinking, or shutdown? Do you struggle to give yourself compassion? You're not alone, but you do deserve support. Some mental wellness tools. Journaling. Dump your thoughts on paper to clear your mind. Breath work. Slow, intentional breathing resets your nervous system. Therapy or coaching. Invest in a professional space to grow. Saying no. Protect your energy from what drains you. Digital detox. Take breaks from constant scrolling and comparison. You don't need to tough it out. You're allowed to heal. Herb wellness without obsession. This chapter isn't about becoming a wellness perfectionist. You don't need to green smoothie your way to worthiness. You are already worthy. This is about taking care of what matters most. You. Self-care isn't a checklist, it's a relationship. Some days it's meditation and movement. Other days it's rest and letting yourself off the hook. The key is intention. Listening. Showing up for yourself again and again. Writing hand journal prompts to deepen this practice. What does health mean to me, beyond society's definitions? How have I neglected my body, and what's the impact? What are 3 things that make me feel physically energized? What's one area of my wellness that needs more love right now? What routines could I introduce that feel supportive, not forced? Speech balloon affirmations for embodying self-care. I deserve rest, nourishment, and care, no permission needed. My body is not a project. It is my partner. Health is a journey, and I honor where I am today. Taking care of myself is an act of love, not guilt. I am creating a life that supports my well-being inside and out. Direct hit this week's action steps. Wellness audit. Choose one area: sleep, food, movement, mental health, and rate your satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10. Write down one small improvement you can make this week. Set a boundary. Say no to one thing this week that drains your energy, and use that time for your well-being. Schedule a body check-in. Once a day, pause and ask, what does my body need right now? Then do your best to honor it. Celebrate one healthy choice. Each evening, write down one thing you did to care for yourself, no matter how small. This builds self-trust. Open Book Chapter 4. Build small, smart habits that stick. You don't need a life overhaul. You need a tiny shift, done consistently. You've probably had moments where you felt ready for change. Motivated, determined, all in. You made the plan. You set the alarm. You promised yourself this time would be different. And then, life happened. The schedule got busy. You skipped a day, then 2. And suddenly, the habit disappeared as quickly as it came. Sound familiar? You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just following a system that's designed to fail. Because willpower isn't the key to long-term change. Systems are. This chapter is about building small, powerful habits that stick. Habits that are rooted in your identity, aligned with your values, and designed for real life. Why habits matter more than motivation. Motivation is like a spark. It's exciting, but it fades. Habits are the structure that catches that spark and keeps it burning. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. James Clear. You want to rebuild your life? Don't just dream big. Start small. Create tiny rituals that, over time, compound into massive transformation. The habit loop. Understanding how habits work. All habits, good or bad, are built from the same neurological loop. Cue, a trigger that initiates the habit. Craving, the desire that motivates the behavior. Response, the behavior or action itself. Reward, the outcome that reinforces the habit. Example. Cue, you feel stressed. Craving, you want relief. Response, you scroll through social media. Reward, you get a temporary distraction. To build better habits, you need to design this loop intentionally. Step 1. Start small, ridiculously small. You don't need to meditate for 30 minutes, run 5 miles, or meal prep for the week on day 1. In fact, doing too much too soon is the fastest way to burn out. If it feels too easy, you're doing it right. Examples. Want to journal daily? Start with writing 1 sentence. Want to build a reading habit? Read 1 page a night. Want to stretch regularly? Do 1 yoga pose each morning. These micro-habits build momentum. And momentum is more powerful than motivation. Step 2. Link habits to existing routines, habit stacking. The easiest way to create a new habit is to tie it to one you already do. This is called habit stacking. Formula. After I, current habit, I will, new habit. Examples. After I brush my teeth, I'll say 1 positive affirmation. After I pour my coffee, I'll write down 1 goal for the day. After I log off work, I'll go for a 10-minute walk. When you stack habits, you remove decision fatigue. It becomes automatic. Like brushing your teeth, it just happens. Step 3. Make it obvious, make it easy. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you think. Want to change your habits? Start by changing your surroundings. To build better habits, place your workout clothes next to your bed. Put a water bottle on your desk. Keep a book on your pillow. Delete apps that drain your time. Use post-it notes with reminders in high-traffic areas. Make the habit visible and frictionless. The fewer steps between you and the habit, the more likely you are to follow through. Step 4. Track your progress, but keep it simple. There's power in seeing your consistency. It builds confidence and momentum. Use a habit tracker, on paper or digitally. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for presence. Every checkmark is a win. A vote for the person you're becoming. But be careful not to fall into all-or-nothing thinking. Missed a day? It's okay. The key is, never miss twice. Step 5. Reward yourself the right way. Your brain is wired to repeat behaviors that feel rewarding. But the reward doesn't have to be big. It can be the satisfaction of checking off a task. A mental yes, you say to yourself. Listening to your favorite song after a workout. A few moments of gratitude or reflection. Let yourself feel good about showing up, even when the habit is tiny. Celebration is reinforcement. Step 6. Attach habits to identity. This is the secret most people miss. Don't just focus on what you want to do. Focus on who you want to be. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Instead of saying, I want to exercise more, say, I'm someone who takes care of my body. I want to read more, say, I'm a reader. I want to be productive, say, I'm someone who values focus. Behavior driven by identity is harder to shake. It becomes part of your story, your self-image, and we naturally act in alignment with how we see ourselves. What about breaking bad habits? Just as we build positive habits, we can deconstruct harmful ones. Try these. Interrupt the cue. Replace the trigger or avoid it if possible, e.g., keep your phone in another room. Increase friction. Make the habit harder to do, e.g., log out of social media after each use. Swap it. Replace the response with something healthier, e.g., take a walk instead of doom scrolling. Remember, you're not trying to eliminate the craving. You're just giving it a better outlet. Common pitfalls and how to avoid them. 1. All-or-nothing thinking. You missed one day, might as well give up. Heavy multiplication X counter it with, one day doesn't erase my progress. I'll get back on track tomorrow. 2. Overwhelm. Trying to change too much at once. Heavy multiplication X counter it with, one habit at a time. Master it. Then add more. 3. Guilt. You skipped a workout. You had a bad day. Now you're spiraling. Heavy multiplication X counter it with compassion, forgiveness, progress, not perfection. Habits are a long game. You're rewiring your brain. That takes time and kindness. Brain mindset shift. Fall in love with the process. Let go of I have to and replace it with I get to. You don't have to work out. You get to move your body. You don't have to wake up early. You get to create a peaceful morning. You don't have to journal. You get to process your thoughts and emotions. When you connect your habits to a purpose, they stop feeling like chores and start feeling like rituals. Writing hand, journal prompts for habit clarity. What's one habit I want to start? Not because I should, but because it excites or supports me. What's a current routine I can use to stack a new habit onto? What story am I telling myself about my ability to change? Is it true? Who do I want to become, and what habits would that person practice daily? How can I make my new habit feel joyful or rewarding? Speech balloon affirmations to support new habits. Small steps lead to big changes. I'm becoming more of who I want to be every day. My habits support my growth, my peace, and my purpose. Consistency matters more than perfection. I show up for myself, even when it's hard. Direct hit weekly action plan. Pick one new habit. Keep it small and doable. Tie it to a clear why. Stack it. Choose when and where it will happen by linking it to an existing routine. Track it. Use a simple habit tracker or journal log. Celebrate it. Each day you complete it, smile. Say, I did that. Let it feel good. Reflect weekly. What worked? What didn't? Adjust the system, not your worth. Open Book Chapter 5. Commit to the path of growth. You don't have to be perfect to grow. You just have to be willing. Growth isn't always exciting. It's not always pretty. And it's almost never comfortable. But it is worth it. Every single time. We talk a lot about growth as if it's this shiny, Instagrammable moment. The before and after. The glow up. The success story. But the real work of growth, it happens in the messy middle. In the silence. In the doubt. In the quiet decisions you make when no one's watching. This chapter is about choosing to walk the long road, the one that asks you to stretch, shed, heal, fall, and rise again. This is the path of personal growth. What personal growth actually is, and isn't. Let's clear something up. Growth isn't about fixing yourself. You are not broken. You are becoming. Growth isn't a punishment for who you used to be. It's a gift to the person you're becoming. It's about expanding your mindset, evolving your responses, questioning old beliefs, creating space for change, becoming more you. Growth doesn't mean you were wrong before. It means you've outgrown a version of yourself. And that's something to celebrate. Why most people resist growth. Not because they're lazy. Not because they don't care. But because growth is uncomfortable. Here's why. It demands honesty. You have to face your patterns, fears, and flaws. It brings change. And the brain craves safety and familiarity. It invites failure. Growth requires trying new things. That means messing up. It challenges identity. You start questioning who you are and what you've believed. And yet, everything you want, peace, fulfillment, alignment, purpose, sits on the other side of your willingness to grow. Step 1. Adopt a growth mindset. This isn't just a feel-good term. It's a proven concept. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and character can be developed with effort, time, and learning. Contrast it with a fixed mindset, which believes things are static. You either have it or you don't. Growth mindset says, I'm not good at this yet. Failure is feedback. I can figure this out. I learn through effort. This one mindset shift changes everything. It turns setbacks into springboards. Step 2. Get comfortable with discomfort. Growth begins where comfort ends. That doesn't mean living in pain or constant hustle. It means allowing yourself to feel awkward, uncertain, or out of your depth, and doing it anyway. Examples of healthy discomfort. Speaking your truth. Asking for help. Saying no when you usually say yes. Trying something new. Setting a boundary. Showing up imperfectly. Discomfort is not a danger. It's a doorway. Walk through it. Step 3. Redefine failure. Failure is one of the biggest growth blockers, because we've been conditioned to see it as shameful. But here's the truth. Failure is information. It's not the opposite of success. It's part of it. It teaches you what doesn't work, so you can try what does. Shift the language. I failed. I learned. I messed up. I gained clarity. This didn't work. This pointed me somewhere better. Mistakes aren't setbacks. They're stepping stones. Step 4. Challenge your beliefs. We all carry invisible scripts, beliefs we absorbed from family, culture, school, or past experiences. Examples. I have to be perfect to be loved. Success is only for certain people. I'm just not the type to be confident. But here's the thing. You didn't choose most of these beliefs. You inherited them. And anything inherited can be rewritten. Start asking, is this belief true? Where did it come from? Is it serving me or keeping me stuck? What would a more empowering belief sound like? This is the root of all growth. Learning to think differently. Step 5. Set growth-oriented goals. Forget goals that only focus on outcomes like weight, money, or followers. Instead, set process-driven goals. Goals that focus on who you become in the pursuit, not just what you achieve. What kind of person do I want to become? What daily actions reflect that identity? How can I measure growth in mindset, not just metrics? Examples. I will speak up once per week in meetings, instead of I'll be more confident. I'll move my body 3 times a week, instead of I'll lose 20 pounds. I'll journal for 10 minutes daily, instead of I'll figure out my purpose. Process creates progress. Progress builds identity. Identity fuels transformation. Step 6. Embrace the plateau. Growth is not linear. It looks like this. Chart increasing, chart decreasing, chart increasing, chart decreasing, upright arrow, down right arrow, upright arrow, upright arrow, down right arrow, upright arrow. Some days you'll soar. Others, you'll feel stuck. And then there's the plateau, a space where nothing seems to be changing. This is normal. And it's where real transformation brews. Use plateaus to reflect on how far you've come. Reassess your direction. Integrate lessons. Build resilience. Don't confuse stillness with stagnation. Growth is often happening underground before it blooms. Step 7. Surround yourself with growth-focused people. You can't grow in an environment that expects you to stay small. Find people who challenge you lovingly. Celebrate your evolution. Hold space for your wins and your breakdowns. Are also committed to becoming. It might mean outgrowing some relationships. That's okay. Not everyone can go where you're going. And that's not rejection, it's redirection. Writing hand, journal prompts for growth clarity. What does growth mean to me? Not what I've been told, but what I truly believe. What limiting belief am I ready to outgrow? What would it look like if I stopped fearing failure? What area of my life is asking for evolution? What is one small step I can take this week to lean into discomfort? Speech balloon affirmations for the growth journey. I am not who I was, and that's something to celebrate. Every day, I choose progress over perfection. My growth is sacred, even when it's messy. I am becoming the person I've always needed. I trust the timing of my evolution. Direct hit action plan for this week. Do one uncomfortable thing. Pick one thing that stretches you. Speak up, apply for something, set a boundary. Track a mindset shift. Notice one moment where you catch a limiting thought and reframe it in real time. Reflect on a failure. Write down something that didn't work out and list 3 things you learned from it. Celebrate a growth win. What's one way you handled a situation differently than you would have in the past? Celebrate that. Open Book Chapter 6. Define what matters most to you. If you don't know your values, the world will assign them to you. What drives you? What principles quietly shape your decisions, guide your reactions, and whisper yes or no in the background of your thoughts? Whether you realize it or not, you are being guided by a set of internal values. But here's the catch, they may not actually be yours. Many people live years, sometimes decades, pursuing goals, chasing dreams, and building lives that are completely out of alignment with what they truly care about. Why? Because they never pause to define what matters most. This chapter is your pause. It's your chance to identify your core values, reconnect with your personal truth, and begin building a life that actually fits you, not who you've been told to be. Why values matter? Your values are the principles and beliefs that matter most to you. They are the compass beneath the surface, often quiet, but always present. When your actions align with your values, you feel peace, energized, confident, authentic, fulfilled. When your life contradicts your values, you feel anxious, lost, conflicted, drained, unmotivated. Alignment equals freedom. Misalignment equals frustration. Values are the foundation of intentional living. Without them, you drift. With them, you lead your own life. The problem? Borrowed values. Many of us are carrying values we never consciously chose. We inherited them from family. Success means stability and a steady job. Culture. Productivity equals worth. Religion. Sacrifice is the highest virtue. Society. Appearance matters more than authenticity. Friends. Fitting in is safer than standing out. There's nothing wrong with where values come from, unless you accept them without question. This is your invitation to question, to sort through the noise and rediscover your own inner compass. Step 1. Recognize your current values. Start by getting curious about what's already guiding you. Ask yourself, what do I spend most of my time doing? What makes me feel proud? What makes me feel guilty? What makes me feel alive? What triggers a strong emotional response in me? Pay attention to your body's signals. Tension, excitement, peace, resistance. These are indicators. Your feelings are messengers. Your patterns are clues. Brain exercise 1. The peak experience reflection. Think back on your life and identify 3 peak experiences. Moments when you felt deeply fulfilled, joyful, or proud. For each one, answer. What was happening? Who was there? What did I feel? What mattered most to me in that moment? Now ask, what values were being honored? Example. A moment of helping someone in crisis, likely tied to compassion, service, or empathy. A successful presentation, possibly linked to achievement, creativity, or influence. A quiet hike alone, perhaps pointing to peace, freedom, or connection to nature. These moments are value signposts. Follow them. Step 2. Clarify what truly matters. Look at the following list of sample core values. As you read, circle or note the ones that resonate with you instinctively, not intellectually. Sample core values: authenticity, growth, freedom, peace, adventure, security, integrity, compassion, curiosity, creativity, family, spirituality, community, humor, wisdom, joy, justice, independence, connection, discipline, gratitude, excellence, balance, purpose, self-expression, loyalty, love, leadership, trust. Add any of your own that aren't listed. Now narrow your list down to your top 5. These are your core values, the ones that form your foundation. Step 3. Define your values in your own words. Words like freedom or growth can mean different things to different people. Your next step is to define what each value personally means to you. Example. Growth: continually learning, challenging myself, and evolving emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually. Freedom: the ability to choose my own path, schedule, and lifestyle without guilt or pressure. Write out one sentence for each of your top 5 values. This isn't just semantics, it's embodiment. You're turning abstract ideals into living principles. Step 4. Identify misalignment. This part might sting, but it's where the transformation begins. Ask yourself, where in my life am I not living in alignment with my values? Which values are being compromised by my habits, job, relationships, or environment? What patterns make me feel off or drained? Example. You value peace, but your life is full of constant noise, conflict, or chaos. You value creativity, but your job or routine leaves no room for expression. You value connection, but you isolate or avoid vulnerability. Naming misalignment is not about self-blame, it's about self-awareness. Because what you can see, you can shift. Compass step 5. Align your life with what matters. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to make micro-adjustments that bring you back to center. How can I honor one of my values more this week? What can I say no to that contradicts my values? What small change would make me feel more aligned? Examples. If you value connection, schedule a weekly phone call or dinner with someone meaningful. If you value growth, sign up for a class, read a book, or hire a coach. If you value freedom, block off 1 hour of unscheduled time just for yourself. Alignment is an active practice. You check in. You adjust. You return home. Man in lotus position bonus practice. The Values Filter Decision Tool. When facing a choice, big or small, run it through your values filter. Does this honor my core values? Does it move me closer to the life I want, or pull me further away? Will this decision feel right in hindsight? If it doesn't align, it's okay to say no, even if it looks good on paper. Your values are your internal GPS. Trust them even when the world says otherwise. Writing hand journal prompts for value discovery. What moments in life have made me feel the most fulfilled? When have I felt most unlike myself, and what values were missing? What would a week lived in full alignment with my values look like? Which of my current routines or commitments don't reflect what matters most to me? What does my ideal life reflect about my true values? Speech balloon affirmations for value-based living. I have the power to build a life that reflects what matters to me. I release values that were never mine to begin with. I trust my inner compass to guide me toward alignment. My decisions are rooted in truth, not pressure. Every step I take in alignment with my values brings me closer to freedom. Direct Hit Weekly Action Plan. Name your top 5 values. Write them down and post them somewhere visible, on your mirror, desk, or journal. Define them clearly. In your own words, describe what each value means to you. Do one aligned action. Pick one small habit or decision this week that clearly reflects one of your values. Catch a misalignment. Notice one area where you're living out of alignment, and ask what you can shift. Check in daily. Ask yourself each morning or evening, did I live according to my values today? Open Book Chapter 7. Set goals that actually fit you. You don't need bigger goals. You need truer ones. Let's face it, goal setting has a reputation problem. For years, we've been sold the idea that goals should be flashy, aggressive, and wildly ambitious. Hustle culture says if your goals don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. But here's the truth. You don't need goals that impress others. You need goals that align with your soul. Goals that feel like a natural extension of your values. Goals that bring you closer to the life you actually want, not the life you've been told to chase. This chapter is about clearing the noise, unlearning the pressure, and creating a goal-setting practice that works with you, not against you. Why traditional goal setting often fails. Most people set goals from the outside in. They start with what looks good. Lose 20 pounds. Make 6 figures. Buy a house. Post every day on social media. There's nothing wrong with those goals, if they genuinely reflect your inner truth. But too often, these goals come from comparison, ego, insecurity, social pressure, past wounds. That's why people lose steam. That's why motivation fades. That's why the new you crashes by February. Because when a goal isn't aligned, it becomes a burden, not a breakthrough. Real goals start with real values. Before you even think about, what do I want to achieve? Ask, what do I value most? What do I want to feel this year? What kind of person am I becoming? When your goals grow out of your core values, everything changes. You stop setting goals to prove something. You start setting goals to express who you are. Brain Exercise 1. The Values to Goals Bridge. Take your top 5 values, from Chapter 6, and ask, if I lived by this value more fully, what would I do differently? Example. Value, freedom, I'd create a flexible work schedule. Value, growth, I'd read 1 book per month. Value, connection, I'd call my parents weekly and make new friends. Value, creativity, I'd start writing poetry again. Value, well-being, I'd move my body daily without pressure. Now you're not chasing random goals. You're building a life in alignment with your deepest truth. Step 1. Identify the area of life you want to focus on. You don't need to fix everything at once. Focus brings freedom. Choose 1 to 2 life domains to start with. Health and fitness. Relationships and love. Career or business. Personal growth. Finances. Creativity. Spirituality. Community. Mental health. Daily habits. Adventure and travel. Ask yourself, which area of life, if improved even slightly, would make everything else feel better? Start there. Step 2. Create identity-based goals. Most goals focus on doing, but sustainable transformation comes from being. Instead of asking, "What do I want to accomplish?" "Who do I want to become?" This subtle shift grounds your goals in identity, not outcomes. Examples: I want to become someone who values my body and treats it with care. I want to be a person who manages money wisely and with confidence. I want to become more emotionally present in my relationships. Now create a simple action goal that reflects that identity. I'll walk 20 minutes every day. I'll review my finances every Friday. I'll put my phone away during dinner. Identity, action, reinforcement, transformation. Step 3. Make your goals SMART, but personal. You've probably heard of SMART goals before. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound. That's great, but we're adding another layer. Soulful. Does this goal matter to me? Will this move me closer to peace, purpose, or alignment? Example: generic, I want to get fit. Smart, I will work out 3x a week for 30 minutes. Soulful, I want to move my body regularly because I value energy, strength, and longevity. Bring heart into your structure. Step 4. Break it down into micro steps. Big goals are great, but without clarity, they can become overwhelming. The solution: break them down until they feel embarrassingly small. Why small works? It builds momentum. It bypasses resistance. It creates quick wins. Example goal: launch my creative project. Micro steps: brainstorm for 10 minutes. Write one idea down. Choose a format: blog, podcast, art. Set up a blank project folder. Schedule first creative hour. Share the intention with a friend. Each microstep equals one brick in the foundation of your future. Step 5. Choose your rhythm, not just your result. Your goal isn't just to arrive. It's to become. What rhythm would support this goal? What rituals will help me show up consistently? Examples: morning journaling to stay aligned. Weekly review to track progress. Sunday night planning. Monthly self-check-ins. Accountability partner or coach. Consistency flows better with rhythm than with force. Your future is built in your routines, not your random bursts. Step 6. Measure what matters. Not all progress is visible. Sometimes the real growth is quiet, emotional, spiritual, behavioral. So yes, track numbers if you want to, but also track energy, mindset, confidence, emotional reactions, level of self-trust. How am I showing up differently? What feels more in alignment now? What patterns am I breaking? This makes growth feel real, even before the outer results arrive. Step 7. Allow for redirection. You are not a failure if your goal shifts. You are wise. Too often, people stick to goals they've outgrown out of fear or pride. Real growth includes pausing, reflecting, adjusting, redirecting. Ask monthly: is this goal still aligned? Am I doing this for love or for ego? What's working and what's draining me? Pivoting isn't quitting. It's listening. Woman in Lotus Position: the gentle art of self-accountability. Discipline is important, but so is compassion. If you fall off track, don't shame yourself. Don't declare it a failure. Don't wait for the perfect day to start again. Instead, say, "I'm still committed. I'll try again tomorrow." That mindset builds resilience, and that's the true fuel of long-term change. Writing hand journal prompts to set soul-aligned goals. What's one area of my life that's calling for intentional change? What values do I want this goal to reflect? Who am I becoming by pursuing this goal? What small steps can I take to build momentum? How will I celebrate progress, not just achievement? Speech balloon affirmations for goal setting and growth. My goals are rooted in truth, not pressure. I am allowed to grow slowly, gently, and steadily. Small steps create massive change over time. I trust the process, even when progress feels invisible. Every action I take is a vote for the life I'm building. Direct Hit Weekly Goal Plan. Let's bring it all together. 1. Pick one value-aligned goal. Write it in one clear sentence. 2. Define your identity around it. Who are you becoming by pursuing this? 3. Break it into micro steps. List the first 3 steps you can take this week. 4. Choose a ritual to support it. Daily or weekly habit to stay connected to the goal. 5. Celebrate one win. At the end of the week, name one thing you're proud of, no matter how small. Open Book Chapter 8. Embrace self-care as a daily ritual. Self-care is not an emergency response. It's a way of being. Let's redefine self-care. Not as a spa day. Not as a face mask. Not as a reward after burnout. But as a daily ritual. Something steady, sacred, and sustaining. A commitment to yourself, because you matter, not because you're trying to earn rest or repair damage after collapse. Self-care is your oxygen. It's the soil where your well-being grows. And it's how you protect the person you're becoming. Why we struggle with self-care. Self-care sounds simple. But let's be honest, most people struggle with it. Not because they don't want to take care of themselves, but because they've been conditioned not to. Here are the common blockers. Guilt. Taking time for myself is selfish. Productivity addiction. If I'm not doing something useful, I'm wasting time. Burnout cycle. I'll rest when everything is done. Perfectionism. If I can't do it perfectly, what's the point? Disconnection. I'm not even sure what I need anymore. If any of these resonate, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Self-care isn't selfish. It's self-preservation. You don't need to earn it. You just need to reclaim it. The 5 pillars of daily self-care. To build a sustainable self-care practice, you need more than bubble baths and candles, though those are lovely too. You need a holistic approach that nourishes your entire being. Let's explore the 5 core pillars. Brain 1. Mental self-care. Caring for your mind is essential. The world is noisy, and your brain deserves clarity and calm. Examples. Digital detoxes, even short ones. Reading or learning something new. Journaling to process thoughts. Mindful breaks during the day. Saying no to mental overload. What thoughts or content am consuming, and is it helping or hurting? Yellow Heart 2. Emotional self-care. Your emotions are not weaknesses. They're data. And learning to honor, feel, and process them is crucial for inner peace. Examples. Naming what you feel without judgment. Practicing self-compassion during hard moments. Letting yourself cry, laugh, express. Talking to a friend or therapist. Creating emotional boundaries. What emotion needs my attention today, and how can I hold space for it? Woman Running 3. Physical self-care. Your body is the vehicle for everything you experience in life. When you care for it, you care for your future. Examples. Nourishing meals, not restrictive diets. Regular movement, not just intense workouts. Stretching, walking, breathing. Drinking water throughout the day. Prioritizing sleep quality. How can I make my body feel supported and respected today? Herb 4. Spiritual self-care. You don't have to be religious to nourish your spirit. Spiritual self-care is about connecting to something greater than yourself, even if that's simply peace or meaning. Examples. Meditation or quiet reflection. Prayer or sacred texts. Time in nature. Gratitude practice. Creating or experiencing art. What helps me feel grounded, inspired, or connected to purpose? Handshake 5. Relational self-care. Humans are wired for connection. Self-care isn't just solitude. It's about creating healthy, reciprocal relationships that fuel your spirit. Examples: spending quality time with loved ones, asking for support when needed, setting clear boundaries, limiting time with toxic or draining people, engaging in honest, open communication. Which relationships fill me, and which ones leave me depleted? Compass from indulgence to intentionality. The goal isn't to treat yourself once in a while. The goal is to tend to yourself every day. This means checking in with what you actually need, not what looks trendy online. Creating daily rituals that feel natural and calming. Removing guilt around taking space and time. Choosing quality over quantity in your self-care moments. Self-care is not escape. It's return. A return to balance, to breath, to self-trust. Brain exercise, the daily self-care map. On a piece of paper or journal page, draw 5 circles. Label them: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, relational. Now, in each circle, write down 2 to 3 small activities that nourish you in that area. These don't have to be big or fancy. Examples: mental, 10-minute brain dump journal. Emotional, 3 deep breaths when overwhelmed. Physical, stretch before bed. Spiritual, gratitude list of 3 things. Relational, send a thinking of you message to a friend. This becomes your self-care menu. When you feel disconnected, choose one item and practice it. Self-care and boundaries, the hidden link. Sometimes, the most powerful form of self-care isn't something you do, it's something you stop doing. Self-care also means not answering that call at 10 p.m., turning down an invitation when your body says, rest, logging off when your nervous system is overloaded, saying, I'm not available for that right now, without apology. Boundaries are not walls. They're bridges to peace. They keep you connected to your truth. Building a ritual, making self-care stick. Habits are easier to maintain when they're anchored in rhythm. Here's how to make your self-care sustainable. 1. Start small. Choose one practice per day. That's enough. 2. Stack it. Attach your self-care to an existing habit. Example: after I brush my teeth, I'll take 3 grounding breaths. 3. Make it visible. Use a sticky note, phone reminder, or journal prompt. Keep your self-care front and center. 4. Reflect regularly. Each week, ask, did I care for myself in a way that felt loving and true? If not, adjust. No guilt, just recalibration. What self-care is not? Let's be real for a moment. Self-care has been commercialized into a billion-dollar industry, often preying on insecurities. Here's what self-care is not: an excuse to avoid responsibility, a performance for social media, a luxury only for the privileged, a cure for trauma, but it can support healing, a way to fix yourself. You don't need to buy anything to practice self-care. You just need to listen, and then respond to yourself with care. Writing hand journal prompts for embodied self-care. What does self-care look like when I remove guilt from the equation? What small, daily actions make me feel grounded and nourished? When was the last time I truly rested? What did that feel like? What boundary am I ready to set to protect my peace? How can I create a self-care ritual that supports the person I'm becoming? Speech balloon self-care affirmations. I am worthy of rest, care, and presence every single day. Self-care is not a reward, it's a right. Tending to my needs is an act of love, not selfishness. I choose peace, nourishment, and spaciousness. Each small act of care strengthens my foundation. Direct Hit Weekly Action Plan. Your self-care reset. 1. Choose one daily ritual. Start with one habit you'll commit to this week, e.g., 5-minute walk, evening journal, unplugging by 9 p.m. 2. Schedule one nourishment block. Block off 30 to 60 minutes just for you. No screens. No productivity. Just being. 3. Say no once this week. Protect your energy by turning down something that isn't aligned. 4. Reflect and realign. End the week by asking, how did I care for myself this week, and what do I need next? Open Book Chapter 9. Cultivate meaningful relationships. You don't need a million people. You need a few who really see you. You weren't meant to do life alone. No matter how independent you are, no matter how strong or self-reliant, you are wired for connection. It's not weakness. It's not neediness. It's human. Relationships are mirrors, teachers, sanctuaries, and sometimes battlefields. They have the power to ground you or unravel you. That's why, as you rebuild yourself, you must become intentional about who you allow into your inner world. This chapter is about choosing depth over quantity, authenticity over performance, and love that feels safe over love that feels familiar. Why meaningful relationships matter. We often talk about personal growth as a solo journey, but that's only half the story. You grow through relationships. The friend who challenges you lovingly. The partner who mirrors your wounds and helps you heal. The mentor who sees your potential before you do. The community that reflects your values back to you. Healthy relationships are not distractions from your path. They're part of the path. They support your emotional health. Build self-awareness through reflection. Strengthen resilience during hard seasons. Expand your capacity to give and receive love. Ground you when life feels chaotic. Alone, you can go fast. But together, you can go further. Step 1. Know what you need in a relationship. You can't attract healthy, aligned relationships if you're unclear about what those look like. Ask yourself, what makes me feel safe and seen in a relationship? What kind of energy do I want around me? What values must a close relationship share with me? What red flags or dynamics am I no longer available for? You deserve connections that feel like respect, presence, mutual effort, space to be your full self, joy, even when life is messy. And it starts with defining what nourishment looks like for you. Step 2. Audit your current circle. Let's be honest. Some of the people around you are helping you grow. Others, not so much. This doesn't mean you're better than them. It just means you're evolving, and that sometimes requires reevaluating who walks with you. Try this reflection exercise. Take a sheet of paper and draw 3 circles like a target. Inner circle, deep trust, full access to you. Middle circle, friends/acquaintances, limited access. Outer circle, former or toxic connections, emotional distance. Now write down where each person in your life currently belongs. Notice. Who do you feel most yourself around? Who leaves you drained, judged, or small? Who shows up with consistency and care? Real love doesn't require performance. It's a place where you can exhale. Step 3. Let go with love. This might be the hardest part, but also the most liberating. Letting go isn't about cutting people off in anger. It's about releasing relationships that no longer serve your growth. Maybe they were only meant for a season. Maybe you've outgrown an old dynamic. Maybe it's just time. Letting go sounds like, I love you, but I need space. This dynamic no longer feels aligned. I'm focusing on relationships that feel reciprocal. Saying nothing at all, and simply stepping back in peace. You're not cruel for having boundaries. You're wise for protecting your energy. Step 4. Create relationships that thrive on honesty. Real relationships are built on truth. Not people-pleasing. Not passive aggression. Not silence. They thrive on clear communication, emotional transparency, respect for boundaries, owning your feelings without projecting them, curiosity over control. Practice saying, here's what I need right now. I feel disconnected. Can we talk about it? I love you, and this behavior hurt me. Thank you for holding space for me. You don't have to be perfect, just honest. Vulnerability is a risk, yes. But it's also the path to deep intimacy. Step 5. Nurture the relationships that matter. Once you've clarified and created healthy connections, it's time to nurture them. Relationships don't thrive on autopilot. They thrive on intentional care. Simple ways to show up. Send a voice note instead of a text. Schedule regular check-ins. Celebrate milestones, even small ones. Express appreciation regularly. Be present when you're together. Phones down, heart open. Healthy relationships are built on mutual tending. Like a garden, they need consistent attention and warmth. Step 6. Be the kind of friend, partner, person you want to attract. Instead of waiting for the perfect relationship to show up, become the person who creates it. Do I listen with presence? Do I offer support without trying to fix? Do I speak with honesty and kindness? Do I honor others' boundaries as well as my own? Energy is magnetic. Who you're being will naturally draw in people aligned with that same frequency. Step 7. Recognize the difference between safe and familiar. Sometimes, we mistake comfort for compatibility. We return to people or patterns not because they're healthy, but because they're familiar. Does this person celebrate my growth, or feel threatened by it? Do I feel empowered around them, or small? Is our bond built on mutual respect, or mutual trauma? Familiar doesn't always mean safe. And love should never require the shrinking of your truth. Choose people who can handle all of you. Your ambition, your emotions, your dreams, your boundaries. Self-love. The foundation for all relationships. Let's not forget, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. Your ability to communicate clearly, set boundaries, receive love, attract aligned people, walk away from what isn't right. All stems from your own self-worth. When you treat yourself with care and respect, you teach others how to do the same. So before you try to fix any relationship out there, come home to the one in here. Writing hand journal prompts for relationship clarity. Who in my life truly sees me, supports me, and encourages my growth? Which relationships leave me feeling small, drained, or anxious, and why? What does a safe, meaningful connection feel like to me? Where am I not communicating honestly in a relationship, and what do I fear would happen if I did? What qualities do I value most in a friend, partner, or community? And am I offering those qualities too? Speech balloon relationship affirmations. I am worthy of deep, honest, and loving connections. I attract relationships that align with my truth. I am not afraid to let go of what no longer serves me. I speak my truth with clarity and compassion. My relationships are rooted in respect, reciprocity, and realness. Direct Hit Weekly Action Plan. Relationship Reset. 1. Identify your inner circle. Choose 2 to 3 people who make you feel safe, inspired, and supported. Reach out and let them know. 2. Have one honest conversation. Pick one relationship that needs truth. Speak kindly, clearly, and directly. 3. Practice receiving. Let someone show up for you this week, whether that's listening, helping, or just being present. 4. Create a connection ritual. Whether it's a weekly check-in, a shared walk, or regular calls, schedule time for quality connection. 5. Reflect on your own role. Ask, how can I be more present, honest, and loving in my relationships this week? Open Book Chapter 10. Awaken your creative spirit. You were born to create, not just art, but possibility, meaning, and your own becoming. What if I told you that you're already creative? Not could be, not used to be, not wish you were, but are. Yes, you. Even if you haven't picked up a paintbrush in years. Even if you can't draw a stick figure. Even if you were told somewhere along the way, you're not the creative type. None of that matters. Because creativity isn't a job title. It isn't a talent reserved for artists, writers, or musicians. It's a human birthright. A part of your soul's blueprint. You are a creator by nature. Of words, of ideas, of energy, of movement, of solutions, of moments. And this chapter is about reconnecting with that truth. Why creativity is essential to your growth. When people think of rebuilding themselves, they often focus on mindset, goals, routines, and yes, those matter. But creativity is what brings your inner world to life. It's the language of your soul. Creativity helps you process emotion, access intuition, move through stuck energy, solve problems in new ways, feel joy and playfulness again, discover who you are beyond the noise. When you tap into your creativity, you're not escaping life. You're engaging with it more fully. The creative wound. Why we often feel disconnected. Most people don't struggle with being creative. They struggle with feeling safe to be creative. Somewhere along the way, someone may have judged your art or expression, told you you weren't good enough, laughed at your ideas, taught you that productivity matters more than passion. So you shut it down. You internalized the belief, I'm not creative. But your creativity never left. It's just waiting for your permission to come home. Step 1. Redefine what creativity means to you. Let's expand the definition. Creativity is writing a poem or writing a text that moves someone, drawing a portrait or doodling in the margins of your notebook, cooking a new meal, designing a space that feels like you, solving a problem in your business or relationships, daydreaming, imagining, envisioning, expressing yourself without apology. Creativity is anything that flows through you and adds beauty, truth, or originality to the world. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours. Step 2. Identify your natural creative language. You don't need to master every medium. Start with what feels instinctive. Ask yourself, what kind of creative play did I enjoy as a child? What activities make me lose track of time? When do I feel most like myself? What's something I've always wanted to try, but haven't? Your creativity might show up as music, movement, writing, speaking, painting, problem-solving, storytelling, fashion, decorating, building, editing, designing. Let go of the idea that it has to be productive. Let it be alive. Step 3. Clear space for creation. Creativity can't breathe in a life that's overstuffed. You don't need endless hours, but you do need space. Mental, emotional, and physical. Try this. Declutter your schedule. Eliminate one non-essential commitment. Declutter your environment. Create a corner that inspires you, a space just for expression. Declutter your mind. Journal, meditate, or walk to release mental clutter. Then, create time. Start with 20 minutes a week. No rules. No goals. Just creative exploration. A return to play. Step 4. Make creativity a ritual, not a performance. You don't have to monetize your art. You don't need an audience. This is not about being good. This is about being honest. Build a ritual around your creativity. A morning journal with coffee. A Friday evening paint and play session. A lunchtime idea dump. Music and movement in your living room at the end of the day. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you engage with it, the stronger it becomes. The more you make it sacred, the more it opens doors to your truth. Step 5. Embrace imperfection and play. Let go of the pressure to be brilliant. Creativity isn't about mastery. It's about permission. Permission to be messy. Start over. Try something new. Make things just for fun. Be bad at something and enjoy it anyway. Return to the freedom of what if. What if I tried this? What if I allowed this to be weird and wonderful? Play is not immature. It's a vital part of healing and discovery. Step 6. Use creativity as a tool for healing. Creativity isn't just expressive, it's therapeutic. Use it to process pain, rewrite limiting beliefs, reconnect with your inner child, visualize your future, release stored emotions. Examples. Write a letter to your younger self. Paint your current emotional state without worrying what it looks like. Create a collage that represents your healing journey. Write a song or journal entry that gives your emotions a voice. Your creativity is your inner medicine. Let it do its work. Step 7. Let your creative spirit guide your life. Once you reconnect with your creativity, you'll notice it doesn't just show up in art, it shows up everywhere. How you communicate, how you solve problems, how you build relationships, how you dream and design your future. Creative life is a conscious life. One where you're actively shaping your reality instead of reacting to it. You become the author, not the bystander. The designer, not the default setting. And that's where freedom lives. Writing hand journal prompts for creative awakening. What is my earliest memory of feeling creatively free? What activities bring me joy and make time disappear? What would I create if no one ever saw or judged it? Where in my life do I need more creative expression? What limiting beliefs about creativity am I ready to let go of? Speech balloon affirmations for creative flow. I am creative by nature, not by profession. My creativity is sacred, even when it's messy. I give myself permission to play, express, and explore. I do not need to be perfect to be powerful. My ideas matter. My voice matters. My art matters. Direct Hit Weekly Creative Flow Plan. 1. Choose your creative practice. Pick one form of expression to explore this week: drawing, music, journaling, storytelling, dancing, etc. 2. Set a sacred time. Block off at least 30 minutes for creative play. Make it non-negotiable. 3. Create without pressure. No sharing. No editing. No judgment. Just expression. 4. Reflect afterward. Ask, how did that feel? What came up for me? 5. Celebrate the act, not the outcome. You showed up. You created something that didn't exist before. That's enough. Final thoughts. You are a creator. Not because you went to art school. Not because someone gave you permission. But because it's who you are at your core. Creativity isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. It's how your soul stretches, how your truth emerges, how your light shines through the cracks. You don't need to create masterpieces. You just need to create space for yourself, your voice, your inner world. So pick up the pen. Move your body. Sing your joy. Write your grief. Paint your questions. Collage your wildest dream. And through it all, let yourself remember. You were made to create beauty, connection, and meaning just by being you.